Well, good afternoon, our beloveds, and today we're going to touch on more of a tough topic, and it's nuanced, and it's complicated, and it's even difficult emotionally to really discern for the human being. It is toxicity versus abundance. Now, what do we mean by that? Our another has been querying us on a particular topic, and it touches on toxicity. But the question is, when are you toxic? And when are you abundantly clear on who you are and how somebody else is overriding, overstepping, overruling, disregarding, and shitting on your boundaries? When you finally stand up and say no more, are you being toxic? Are you being controlling? Are you being demanding? Or are you finally asserting your right, your voice, to tell others, leave me the fuck alone so that I can feel safe? Where does toxicity lie, and where do boundaries lie? And where does self-assertion stand? How do you know what one person would deem toxic? How dare you talk to me that way? May be another person's language of, you're invading my space, you are making me feel unsafe, and I need you to go away. Is it because you want to control the outcome? Or is it because you simply feel unsafe? Because the other person continually disregards your kinder requests for, go away, leave my life. So the question now is, if somebody else lovingly, in their mind, continues to pursue you, to not leave you alone, to bug you, maybe to even stalk you a little bit, and they're doing it with really kind voices, kind words, kind intentions, and you tell them you're not interested, and you tell them to go away, and you tell them that you're done, and they continue, and then you scream and holler and tell them to fuck off, which one of you is toxic? Toxicity is not the vibration of your word, where you tell somebody to fuck off. Toxicity is the intention that goes or underlies the behavior. If somebody is disregarding your continual set boundaries, they are the toxic one, even if they smile at you. For example, if you are a child and a kind, loving adult forces you to have sex while always using a kind voice, coercing you into that experience, and you're screaming and hollering and telling them to get the fuck off of you, which one of you is toxic? You have been taught that if you raise your voice, if you assert your independence, that you are abusive, that you are toxic. And that is not the discerning factor. When you finally feel the need to raise your voice, to scream at, yell at, holler at, or even hit at somebody else for violating your boundaries, you are asserting your voice, your right to be heard, the right to be safe in your body, and the right to be free of that which makes you feel unsafe. So today, give this some thought. There are so many ways that people can be toxic that sounds just like this, that makes you feel like you are the one who is losing control of your emotions because you're screaming and hollering at them while they're keeping this really grounded and centered voice, which is to make you look like the crazy one, when in reality they are the ones who are diminishing your ability to kindly and gently walk away because they continue to pursue you, making you feel unsafe within your own body, within your own home, within your own community, within your world, whatever it is. So recognize that you screaming at somebody does not make you toxic if it is because they continue to disregard your wishes of leaving you alone, of not bringing up something, of stalking you while you're walking down the road. Would you have a problem beating somebody off who attacked you? We hope not. So why is it any different when you use the words to tell somebody to back off, that they have overstepped your boundaries and you are unsafe in your own space right now? This matters so much because so many young women and also some young men have been taught that you are not permitted to assert yourself because you were taught in your home, in your environment, in your work, in your schooling environment, that you had no voice and you had to listen to the authority figures, thereby denying you the right to speak up against or for something that you wish to acknowledge in that moment. And therein lies the lesson today. It is not the tone, it is the intention that creates toxicity. And many of you who have been deemed either bipolar or borderline, because sometimes you go into this aggressive state, this anxious state, this overly manic state, whatever it is, sometimes that is simply because others disregard or disrespect your boundaries, thereby pushing you into a different space. And yes or another, we do mean bipolar, the diagnosis. There are many ways that people get to that mania and then ultimately to the depressive state or the borderline, which is where somebody calls you something and then you react. Borderline is not really what you all think it is. It is a trauma response, no different than narcissism to a certain antisocial personality disorder. Those are all just labels. When you have been so severely traumatized, you don't know what it feels like to be safe in your body, and you don't know what to do when you feel unsafe in your body. You have terrible coping mechanisms, some of you do. And when some of you begin to get healthier and you begin to assert your independence, others who expect you to be small and meek and muzzled do not like that and will begin to push back. Don't let them deter your behavior and your belief system that it is okay as a woman to be assertive. Let them call you aggressive, controlling, a bitch. Let them call you whatever they want. That's their limitation. You are permitted to assert yourself, your voice, your wishes, and your demands. Your body, your choice. Make certain you adhere to that, and so it is. Namaste.